Hey everyone, and welcome to After Hours here at Linda's Electric Quilters. Tonight we are going to be working on using the Background Designs, Shapes, and Sketchbook book that we carry here at our store, and we're going to be doing some fun freehand filler designs on a Dream Big panel by Hoffman. But before we get started tonight, as always, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. It's going to be right down at that bottom right-hand corner. After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that shows up so you can get notified whenever we go live here at LEQ. If you're watching us on Facebook, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and follow our page. One more thing before we jump into the video. If you are watching this live right now, today, we are in the middle of a fabric sale right now, so hop over to our website, www.lindas.com, and you can check out all of our fabric that's currently on sale and grab some. We love fabric sales, don't we, Mom?
Yes, we do.
Mom's behind the camera tonight.
I am behind the camera tonight, but I am here.
She is here with us. Okay, so we are going to head over into a different room, and we're going to work on sketching out some different things. So let's head over there right now. So I have got a teal picture of a Dream Big printed out, and I love the Dream Big panel. We don't have them anymore, but I love the Dream Big panel because it is a wonderful tool for practicing your freehand. So if you are a computerized quilter or if you are a free motion quilter, having these panels is just super duper fun to be able to test out your free motion. So I found a picture of one online and I printed it out because whenever you're working on freehand quilting, it's really nice to get that muscle memory or to have a little bit of a blueprint of what you're wanting to do. So always remember, when you take a picture of something or if you find a picture of what you're working with on the internet and you print it out, remember that this is not to scale. So whenever you're drawing things out, keep that in mind because this is much larger when you get to the frame. So I'm going to zoom in and we are going to take a look at a few of these pieces. So whenever we get to the machine, you'll see that I've already done this, but I have done stitch in the ditch around these petals to lock these down. Just like this. And then I gave myself a little bit of a, there we go, a little bit of a channel in here as well. About a 1/4 inch channel was made in here. Now remember, this is not to scale, so it's really, really tight in here, but it's good just to give yourself a blueprint of where you're wanting to start off. So the first petal we're going to hit tonight is going to be this one right here. And I have already put a feather in here, so I'm just going to draw a quick one real quick. And throw that in there. Ooh, that's a nice looking feather. If I take my time, it actually looks better than that. But the first thing we're going to do in our book, we're going to start with page 1, which is the meander section. So I want to show you how to do a quick background filler behind something that you already have quilted on the quilt. That's going to give you that faux trapunto look. So this meander is just going to be a really quick back and forth as you go through this. Remember, when you're working on meandering, the biggest thing is to not get into a pattern, avoid any points in your quilting, and then avoid crossover. So don't let your lines cross over one another in your quilting, and that's going to give you a nice perfect meander. We're going to do that really tight to make our feather pop really, really nicely. The next one that we are going to look at is going to be, remember, we're building our blueprint. We're going to be on page 4. We're going to do a little bit of a swirly curly Q type over in another one of these petals. So to build our blueprint, we're just kind of getting that muscle memory of exactly what we're wanting to do and kind of the motion that we want to go with it. But the really cool thing about the Backgrounds, Designs, and Shapes book is you really get to open that up and then take a look and see what you're wanting to do. We're just playing around and taking a look and seeing how it goes as we're working around this. So we just kind of can pull in and pull out as we're going. Around here. So that kind of gives you, again, that blueprint to figure out exactly what you're wanting to place. We're then going to hop into another petal. I've got a bunch of these already kind of mapped out for us ahead of time. And our next petal that we're going to dive into is one of my favorite. Y'all know I love a good peacock feather. It's like my favorite. So this is a really great filler to either fill inside of space or fill behind applique, or any type of different piece that you have on your quilt. So we're going to put this here, and then that is going to be, let's put that right there. There we go. What this one is going to do is just a quick teardrop, and then you build on that teardrop, and then you just move over to the next section, and you just continue to build back and forth. And for this, as you're starting to work your way out of a section, then it turns, and then you just kind of create a different motion. So you just keep going, and you keep turning to kind of keep yourself out of getting stuck and going to one line. Don't be afraid to go back and forth around this. And if you get caught into a little bit of a section here, give it another echo and turn it. And then just build onto that person, onto that pattern. Where did that come from on that section? Last but not least tonight, I have a fun kind of fancier design that I want to do in here with y'all. What this is going to do is, this isn't in the book, but I kind of took a bunch of different designs and built them together. So around the outside of this channel, we're going to do pearls. And the best way to get a nice freehand pearl, I'm going to flip this over so we can get a good one, to get us a nice freehand pearl, is to get started with a flat line and then curve it. Flat line and curve. Flat line and curve. Flat line and curve. Now I'm kind of working on an angle here. But the really good thing is to just really get into that flat, curve it up. Flat, curve it up. And bring it and sway it in. And as you naturally come back, it's going to close that off and make that really, really nice pearl for you. And then on the inside of that section, we are going to do some feathering. And they're going to end up matching up together, creating a cute little heart. And they'll feather down the petal. So let's head out to the machine. We'll take our blueprint. We'll take our book just in case. And let's head out to the machine and get some quilting done. So we are out here. We're going to start off with our meander first. So we're going to be right over here. And what I've got, let's get you a little bit of a zoom in. Again, I've already done that feather here.
Yeah, that looks a little bit better than the one you drew.
We're not bringing back up. We never look back.
We never look back.
We never look back. But we are going to be doing some tight meandering in here to really make that feather pop. And it's going to give it that faux trapunto look when you do that. So I like, when I do tight stippling, to turn off my stitch regulator and jump into manual, where the needle's just going to go at a constant speed, and I become the regulator at that point. If you are kind of hesitant, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to go that far yet. If you do have a stitch regulator, I would bounce that up to probably doing about 16 stitches per inch, because it's going to be a very tight meander on that. So we good to go, Mom?
Yep, we're good.
Cool. All right, so I'm turning off my regulator. And I am going to pull up my thread down here. We'll tie off. And we will get going. Ooh, that's too fast. Too fast for that tight stuff. We'll drop that down. Easy to change that speed. Much better. So this is a really tight meander. And while we're doing this, this is a great time to talk about if you're working on panels and you are doing quilting on them. I would highly, highly, highly recommend using a ballpoint or a titanium needle. That's going to help eliminate as much of the runs in the fabric. And what the run is when fabrics, especially panels, they're digitally printed. And so when you hit it with a sharp needle, it's going to cause that the coloring in the panel to run a little bit with a white line. So with a ballpoint needle, it's going to separate those fibers a little bit. You're still going to have a few of them, but nowhere near as much. So either a ballpoint or a titanium, and they'll help alleviate a lot of those runs in those digital printed fabrics. We love digitally printed fabrics. We just have to know how to quilt them.
We want to thank everybody that is watching us right now live. If you have any questions, definitely put it in the feed, and in between his breaks, we'll ask him the questions.
So these tighter sections here, sometimes you can get a little bit cramped up. Never fear. Don't be afraid just to stop, reassess the situation, and then jump right back into it. Kind of figuring out what angle you want to take this. For this section, we don't really have a lot of distance in between the echo on the feather and the echo from the petal, so we're just going to do a straight line in to the next piece. We're getting really tight here at the end, and boom. Let me tie off real quick, and then we can pull up. We can trim our threads. Super fast, super fun. Love having that background book just to have a little bit of design inspiration. But from a shadowing standpoint, that tight meander, it could have been a little tighter, but I like it a little more open.
It looks good.
You like it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
well
do.
that's good. I just need Mom's approval. That makes me happy. With that meander, it pushes that background down and really allows that feather to pop and be the forefront.
Love it.
At that point. All right. Let's move into, let's do next petal. We're going to go over here.
Okay.
So next petal, we're going to do that curly Q from page number 4. So we're going to start out wherever we want to start. I'm going to turn stitch regulated back on for this one. Definitely want my regulator back on for this. I will go ahead and tie off. There we go. And I'm just going to turn my regulator on. I'm going to do this at keep consistency. We're going to do 12 stitches per inch. And then we're just kind of going to go for it. Now, if you have this open space and you're like, I don't know if I'm ready just to go for it just yet, then you could take your ultimate marking pencil and then you can kind of map out where you want these curly cues to go. If you want to go in kind of a straight line formation wave effect, you can do that too. Actually, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that. All right. I'm going to take the edge of my template and give myself some lines real quick. We're going to move that out of the way. Give myself some lines to stay in. A little bit of a straight edge here.
Use your template, or if you have the design with lines stencil, you just throw that on and pounce it.
Yeah, whatever you need, whatever you can do. Yeah, the pouncing would be nice. Yeah, I didn't even think about that today. All right. So what we're going to do, we can kind of keep this into a row formation. So we're going to start a little further up. I've got stitch regulated on. So right here we can begin to curl and then back out. Coming up to the end of that row formation. Now, I could do this backwards on the way back. So for my next row, I'll travel up a little bit. And then we can go backwards. If you're not comfortable going backwards on the way back, you could create your own echo underneath the row. I'll show that on the next one. That way you can go forward each time. Whatever is easiest for you. So this one I can travel a little bit, and then we'll go in with the curly Q. So I'm going to show you now, if you are kind of afraid to go backwards on this, you just want to keep going forward, then you could give yourself a cute little echo underneath this. Then travel along the edge here, and then you're back to going forward again. Whatever is easiest for you. The biggest thing I would recommend is make sure you do this two-handed.
Yeah,
Doing this one-handed is a little tight.
Yeah, exactly.
But it gives you the best angle to see. So now we're going to go backwards again. I'm also using the lines in the fabric. I'll pause so you can hear me better. Lines in the fabric to kind of flow that natural direction with the quilting design that I'm doing as well.
So while he's quilting, we had a couple questions. So the micro quilting, the like small quilting he's doing, he actually is using glide thread, and it's gonna be funny when he stops. I'll have to show you that because it was just a small project, we just used a small spool, so that way we wouldn't have to use a big spool, open up a big spool of glide.
The little baby spools.
The little baby spools, because we now carry those 1100 yard spools, and you can see how they work just fine on the quilting machines. And are you using the same thread in the bobbin? I don't know that one. Yes, we are using the same thread in the bobbin as well.
Almost done here. There we go. So do a quick tie off, and then I'll pull up the threads. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, it really does look good.
You just get some. You just having design inspiration. Sometimes that's all you need. Love the book. Love the book. All right, there you go.
Well, that's what I like about the Design with Line books in general, is that they're just really good inspirations, and not necessarily you have to do that technique, but it gives you an idea of like, oh, I can really do that. That looks really good.
That looks really good on camera.
Yeah.
All right.
So while you're setting up for your next sleeve, I want to show the mini spool how it's on the machine.
Yeah, totally. I'll let you do that.
So I'm just going to flip the camera up. And you can see that he's just using what he calls, what do you call it?
The baby spool.
The baby spool.
Just a baby.
Just a baby. Anyway, so it's the glide, and we're just using the mini spool because we didn't want to open up a whole big one. So you have that option to get small ones or big ones and still use them on your machines.
I had to go grab a tool. Yeah, the handle's in the way, and I don't like that for the viewing. Love my. I know if I can just move that out of the way for you.
Yes,
that's
nice. Nice and fast.
Okay. Woohoo! Okay, we are going to do one of my favorites next. That's going to be right up here.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing that peacock feather. So that's going to give us that really tight teardrop to start off with. I need to sharpen this. Tight teardrop to start off with, and then you can kind of build onto that as we go. Y'all have seen me do this quite a few times, but I just love this on here. But just to give you a better reference, again, for those that are new, or if you don't remember, because we've got quite a few videos. We've got good stuff.
Yeah.
Page 9. That nice tight pull, and then you can kind of build off of it from there.
And show us the front of the book. What's the name of the book again?
Backgrounds, Designs and Shapes.
Okay, let's go down just.
I
got you zoomed in so much you can't tell.
I'm sorry.
There we go. It's called Backgrounds, Designs and Shapes, and it is on our website.
Lindas.com.
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 All righty.
All right. Where should we start, Mom? You want to start over here? You want to start in this? Let's start over here and work from left to right.
Yep, that sounds good.
But yeah, while I'm tying this off, going into what you were saying, I didn't really want to open up a whole spool for this, so my little mini one. Perfect.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go.
All right, again, 12 stitches per inch on this as we go. So we're going to start off with a tight teardrop, and then we're going to build off that from there.
So Randy, you are correct. I bet your big green bit is really pretty. The runs should kind of go away once you wash it the first time, at least it did on mine before we realized to use titanium needles. So definitely just a titanium or a light ballpoint needle should take care of that for you. They're all made, it's all on cotton, printed on cotton. Most of the digital prints that we've seen are. So that titanium needle really does help.
Biggest thing on this design, make sure you're turning that teardrop when you create that new one, so it's always kind of going in a different angle or different direction. Gives it more of that random feel as opposed to that structured straight line look.
I'll definitely have to do a close-up of this one. That thread blends so well, you can barely see it.
I'm going to stop that right there so you can get you a quick close-up.
Okay.
It sure does blend well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go out and then we'll get closer to it.
Like it's looking so good, but I can't see it. I mean, I can see it, but they can't see it.
There we go. Just a little bit of a shadow on it. There we go. Nice and pretty. There it is. Ooh, so pretty. Yeah, when we picked out the thread for this today, I thought it was going to be a little too pink.
That's
but it
matching
actually
perfect.
turned out really well.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want me to finish that petal up, or do you want me to show the
Let's go to
the
the
last
next
one?
petal. Yeah,
Okay,
let's show the
we'll do the
last
last one. I can finish this up. You can finish this up later.
Okay.
I'll let you do it.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, okay, that's going to be a no. I can already hear it in her voice.
I just don't like to mess
Sounds
up your
like a
pretty
plan.
work, that's all.
Mom, you know, you don't mess up anything. It's a design choice. All right.
So we had a question, is there any type of practice panel that you sell? We do have practice panels, they're called skill builders. It's not going to be a Dream Big panel, but they do have some practice panels called skill builders on our website that are really good to do different practice techniques that he's doing. And the marker that we are using is actually the Ultimate Marking Pencil. It's kind of like a pounce powder compressed, and you just can sharpen it and reuse it. It's awesome, and then it just irons right off.
It does, it does, it does. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
We're going to be down here now.
Okay.
And then I went and grabbed one real quick since you were talking about it.
Okay.
This is the Skill Builder Filler Finesse panel. There's 3 different Skill Builder panels. But this is the Filler Finesse, which is one of my favorites because it goes really more into the fillers, whereas Skill Builder 1 and 2 will take you through some more traditional stuff like feathers or arcs or different things like that.
Yeah, they're all 3 good, but you're right.
They're all
that one
amazing.
shows you a lot more intricate. Kind of what you're doing tonight, that would have techniques of that in there.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's also on our website.
Alrighty.
All right,
Let's pull it up.
Over there.
And I'm gonna do pearls.
Pearls. Love some pearls.
I'm gonna do love pearls. Okay. Do you have the right angle for me to do this with 2 handles?
We'll make it happen.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to do it with 2.
Yeah, I think you might need to use 2 hands this time.
I think I will. So you just...
So many of you guys don't know, Corey tries to do most of these techniques on our videos with 1 hand so you can really see. But there is going to just be some techniques we have to do 2-handed.
There's a few.
Or he's going to have
this
to
one
do
I have to this one I have to have 2 handles to do.
All right, go for it.
Good? Okay. I am going to bump this up to 14 stitches per inch. When you're doing really small pearls, you want to have a higher stitches per inch. It's going to make that pearl look more round, nice and even arced, as opposed to kind of a block or an egg. So just keep that in mind. But remember that technique that we looked at when we did our drawing, starting with that flat line and then arcing it into that pearl. Flat line into the pearl. Here we go. That thread is trippy. You got same thread on the color.
I know.
Your eyes start to cross. All right, here we go. We're back at it. There we go. All right, we're going to travel up to about midway, and that's where we're going to do our feather. So I will give you full range now on view, because I don't think I'll be good. Thank you. All right. Going to travel up. We're going to come out of the center of our purl line, and this is where we're going to start our feather. And it's going to feather one direction and the other. We're going to kind of have them meet together. I might go one more over. There we go. All right, so here we go. I'm going to travel back. Give ourselves a little bit of movement and then over. Boom.
Perfect. So do you think there's a difference between pearls and pebbles? We have that question.
Pearls, pebbles, same thing, just different terminology.
Gotcha.
But they're the same thing. Pearls and pebbles, I guess. They're pebbles too.
Pebbles, pearls.
Pebbles,
Yeah.
whatever you want to
Whatever
call
you
them.
can make round, if you can make it round.
It's just that technique of that getting that flat and then kind of going quickly into it. Flat and then going
Yeah.
quickly into it.
Perfect. All righty.
But those are my 4 that I've got for you tonight.
All right, so let's go show you a close-up of them.
Okay. I'm going to take the phone off.
Give it-
All right. So first petal that we did this morning. Golly, it's been a day. First petal that we did that tight micro stippling behind to really kind of allow that feather to pop. I've got cotton wool batting in here, so that's going to give it a nice loft to this. Second one we did was these cute little curly cues. We worked on going up it and then reverse, or if you're not comfortable with the reverse, go up and then arc right underneath it to start your next one. Kind of going with the same flow as the panel. I went a little bit off to the right because I don't like to follow the rules, but you can kind of work naturally with the flow as this one, especially in this dahlia flower, it's exploding out. Third one that we did was that peacock feather, starting with that tight teardrop and then building on. kind of going in whatever direction comes next, trying to stay out of a pattern for this one, trying to stay out of a direction, just kind of flowing around with it. A question that I'm sure you're wondering is I kind of stopped right here. How would I go to finish this out? I would probably do, because I stopped right here, I would give myself a tight arc into that. I would finish all of this, kind of arc my way around to finish this, filling this section up, and then coming underneath and finishing back to probably ending right here. And then our last fun kind of out of the book block was to do these pebbles or pearls around the end here. And then we did that fun feather in here where we kind of brought together those different designs. Again, because this is a panel, I found it online, printed out the picture, and kind of gave myself a blueprint of what I wanted to do and built it in together with the Backgrounds, Designs, and Shapes book from our website, which I absolutely love.
All right, I think you've done it.
Have I? Okay.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Finishing up the show, we're going to come right back to you.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight here at After Hours. Mom, doing great behind the camera. Talia's behind the camera too. She's learning today, so that's awesome. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode on the Background Designs and Shapes book. We've got a few more coming because there's a lot to do on this panel. Again, have a great evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.